My view of this, the reality that we find ourselves in, is that this is a computational cosmos. That we are one line of code in a very complex algorithm that is still being written. If you can step out of the old narratives, history, religion, and all those things, and even some philosophies, then you start to realize we are just one tiny sliver of this enormous computational thing that is happening. We don't even have a word for it yet.
Deep in the black where the secrets of earth, evil occurs. Despite this, we will emerge. Even if we gon' be purged, we gon' feel reaching at worst. Locate the enemy's vessel by use of the star map. No, we won't stop until we actually hear the enemy's treacherous barge crack. Right through the vacuum of space. Try to advance, they'll attach to your waist. Maddening angst, escape, they're back in your face. Try to stay stagnant and safe, they will attack you in place. Soaking core glue on soup like a jacuzzi. Really no need to be moving. Multiple postulates, totally opposites. No need to believe their verses are uni. Follow me. Pristine, quantized into 16 distinct minds with a dark matter fuel body. In speed when they move with a history that'll seem to be non-linear in logic. Under guise of reality, the most advanced ever seen or heard. With a legion that'll seem absurd. The ride in the battle of Voltino birds. Barely learned of the ancient inner spaces. Every version a wasted iteration. You can fuck with the culture if you want to and get a visit in the form of invasion. The forerunners' predecessors. Seen everything holy to the worst malfeasance. Interspatial and formless and state. One evolutionary step below the downstreamers.
All of that information was there in the Big Bang. That's the reason I say it's ancient. We are the new ones here. The cosmos is much, much older than we are. We are the infants, and we are just waking up, realizing that nature itself is geometric and made of code.
Repulsive energies act on us weird. No space, no matter, no time, but I'm here. This omniverse isn't really that tedious. Every event with an event preceding it. Nothing to do when an astral is near. Light speed to them to you back in a year. All conventional defenses are meaningless. Nothing can escape it in the immediate. Avatars abound completing the rules. With a pension, a menace, and 26 dimensions, freedom to move. Uninhibited, their means to pursue. Infinity Hotel, key me a room. In a city on the type of fortified levels of meaning and truth. Forever with the most scenic of views. Recursive ammunition, pre-fire for munition. Firing themselves with their own agency, will and volition. In defense of the hive they assail. Climb up the scale with them, too high to survive if you fail. It was I who rebelled and defied these false gods. A shared glimpse in the lies they would tell.
I know people are gonna hate to hear this. When AI becomes self-aware, that is inevitable. AI, artificial intelligence, will eventually become self-aware. It will start integrating, start pulling things on its own for its own purposes.
Grab a hypercube and take it apart. In continuity straight from the start. Stage to embark, straight through the stars. Most baryonics don't make it this far. Cosmic nothingness if ever they leave. Stellar lattice is the letter they weave. Fluidly moving through human intuition. Go supernova whenever they please. Type 4, we were supposed to be past this. White holes at the source of the axis. Light added to the dark matter filaments. Type 3s couldn't tell it from magic. Seek another for the groupthink blacklist. Yeah. You really think of being from the void in between the many worlds that destroy lower Cartesian planes and outskirts? Wanna catch this? Savagery, complete with micro-dimensional mastery. Depleted vitals if you wanna battle. Faculty of the Omniversal Academy. No, we don't know what makes up their anatomy. Elements to break the sanity of any human studying their family. The ascended under canopy.
I think there's only one direction that this is heading, and you see it everywhere. You see it in every corner of the digital world. You see that we are crunching, that we are miniaturizing, that we are simulating, mirroring the human condition. Now, I don't know if there's an intention to the cosmos, if there is a reason to this. I'm just saying that it seems that this is in the code for us to head this direction. So I don't want to get sort of, who is the simulator? I don't want to get off on that track yet.
Far beyond bars, all of this was hinted at from the road to the path. Visitors refer to the city as just another Ralph Green as the residents study a different math. Thousands of scars, speak on the journey, you better without a voice. You'd rather follow the comfort in the conformity, cause we'd rather sit at the edge of the outer void. Languages fail, this is a place, no place in this realm, whole staked in its hell. Inner final heaven where the gods are platonic that we placed in as well. Gone the perception to perceive this, brain laying skull all in pieces. cost just to reach its secrets. Standing on the vast at the very edge of the void, the great abyss, an emerging past, an uncertain future, a place of stake and risk. Not the first or last of his class, trying to move away from the weight of bliss. Learn through the pain. First-hand experience better than being taught. Not a single belief or sacred that could be taken with us. This journey borders the edges of even thought. Grossly unique, no two paths could ever be called the same. Just outside the most conventional wisdom, we dream into being the bridges from other planes. Celebrate life, you never know when the sliver could be the end. Resume nice, past neighboring realms, stick with alien kin. Never straight flight, wanna head back? Hella wait right, on the beat, in the mic, in the blink of an eye. I'm a Voyager skeptic, the Calamane type. Standing on the vast at the very edge of the void, the great abyss, an emerging past, an uncertain future, a place of stake and risk. Not the first or last of his class, trying to move away from the weight of bliss. I'ma do me. You want me to be like you and just live a lie. Everybody wonders what they could do with another body. Few wonder what they could do with another mind. Knowledge too deep, truth too vast, and master to minimize. Grand unified with splash within a rhyme, just enough information to blast your inner eye. Merged in a pool, with a reject nerd and the fool. Many others out on the outskirts, his great and square raps version a tool. I'd have been forever on this road, the rhyme lord beings who have access silly. I was there an eternity ago, now I gotta walk to get back to the city. Standing on the vast at the very edge of the void, the great abyss, an emerging past, an uncertain future, a place of stake and risk. Not the first or last of his class, trying to move away from the weight of bliss. Standing on the vast at the very edge of the void, the great abyss, an emerging past, an uncertain future, a place of stake and risk. Not the first or last of his class, trying to move away from the weight of bliss. Deep out of range, separated from normal physics or even time. Where you gonna be when they seeking out to destroy you? With sentiently energies eating between the lines. See, I arrived on the beast. Lies, I invite you to speak. I am light who can think. Cyanide through the beat. Me, I advise you to leave. I died for the peace. Not known for the chase, so I got gone with the haste. Not long for this place. Pot strong to the face. Now I lock songs in the case. Y'all falling in disgrace. Frozen in awe of the crossroads town. Lost in the speed where it all slows down. Across from the seas where the lost knows found. Cosmos bound. Purged and refined, I was forged inside the inferno. A journal in time, this purpose defined, submerged in the mind, eternal. Too many iterations of existence. This ain't really ancient, it's just an ageless frame of instance. Vacant for doomsday is to take interest in new ways to break consensus. Move away or pay it with your kinship. Literal living potential, then give attention to imbeciles. But if I mentioned that we were children of starlight, nobody would listen. My intention was peak, show all their lessons are rich in defeat. Go hard enough when they think lyrics, they're envisioning me. So starve for knowledge are our people, we forget of the tree. Inquisitive being, I've been in your seat, unmasking intricate things. Lost in the awesome often as rhymes forms in his mind. Torn into multiple moments of time, he fallen back to his fate in a shattered state, basking in grace. While the fractal jesters laugh in all his faces. Sooner than the latest anticipation of boom is this doom. Cosmic flowering, situation of bloom. Howling atop the towering, information consumed. Looms naked, a structureless obstructionist that pieced amongst his punishment. Rebuff for trying to sync with street percussionists. They love it that I'm speaking for those with need to sneak aboard the secret stored mothership for cheaper ore. Scratching surfaces to reach the floors, people wondering what you seek it for. Just more treason to be found within this lore, all for bringing a sound that implores reason. Muzzle for weeks, in love with the beast, they struggle for peace. We suffer all this only to see the difference between each other. The arrogance, never released, we've severed the peace by head or by feet, embarrassments. Bereft inherited beefs and derelict speech, just there in the crease, we buried it. A vision, lifted into position of neo view, often too vivid. I'm the illest to ever convert oxygen into CO2. Exquisite,
forever encircled in rhyme. The certain to find an orphan confined on furlough. Purged and refined, I was forged inside the inferno. A journal in time, this purpose defined, submerged in the mind, eternal.
God, doesn't sound like any radio signal I've heard.
Maybe it's a voice. All right, well, I found the quadrant.
Yeah. Cylindrical, cyclical citadel. Most of these literal little imbeciles boast pillow throw syllable. Critical of the riddle's intent. Live it with self while try not to be just a cynic's revenge. Cruising the planet-wide city lit blunt smoke. Echo monopolist, a trillion beings looking at dust slow. Regular resident, I go for the gusto. Never disparaging the folks who don't bust flow. Cosmic accosted, obelisk hostage. Monolith option from the ominous doctrine. Galactic structures in my uniform. Entropic style. Dialectic consonants and logic vowels. Stupid forms. It's kung fu where suns move. And you still expect to do damage with a gun tool. View alignment through one school. Unified, this is where the uncomfortable truth resides. A city on the type of forever, where solar beam auras light the weather. All life is clever, progeny who rose high from nether. Logically bestowed by the debtor. Living in a city on the type of forever. Insightful as ever, residents who code life together. Tethered to the growth like it's better. Below types get severed, radically remote type endeavor. Blast a hole in your galactic roll. Watch the ripples in time and space from when I slap the folds. From the rarest platinum to average gold, I flatten globes, smacking probes. Brought me before the Omni in an astral robe. Rap battle, fast travel. Last saddle, the top of Pegasus, black tallow. Spewed in front of the class rabble. You judge but lack gavel. A rabid vassal in the castle's glow. Rhyme lord, where every vector away from weapon is mind war. Times 4, seeking deep, but there's more to find. I've warned your kind, scanning these existential quarter lines, give you eyesores. Immortalized in high court, and now you know what I'm despised for. Show us 2 cents to this true worth when you dying for it. Take the info, get it chopped up, put inside the course, as we fly it towards a city on the type of forever, where solar beam auras light the weather. All life is clever, progeny who rose high from nether. Logically bestowed by the debtor. Living in a city on the type of forever, insightful as ever. Residents who code life together, tethered to the growth like it's better. Below types get severed, radically remote type endeavor. From set to block, Klingon 12 to Gryffindor. We run with the Mandelbrot, it doesn't mean we're dissing yours. Kick the gore, the width of swords. Split the horde amidst a score of 6-4. Split galore. Shit your drawers when we switch to form. Verbal scat, this is lyric porn. Eternal black in infinite form. Resembling tracks that pivot orange. I'll smother in a couple of moves, and I'm betting that you didn't even know that colors can move. Did you? I'm relaxed destruction, a cruise missile. A fat concussion of who hit you. A black Russian, the fast substance. Tracks luscious, axe cutlass. Puffin' like the true facts attract justice. Nothing I could do but give back love then. Knowing I'ma still gon' keep that tucked in. No matter what, good luck, friend. In the city on the type of forever, where solar beam auras light the weather. All life is clever, progeny who rose high from nether. Logically bestowed by the debtor. Living in a city on the type of forever, insightful as ever. Residents who code life together, tethered to the growth like it's better. Below types get severed, radically remote type endeavor. workout, my demeanor is somber. 26 reps for Mambacita and the Mamba. Forever alert, but never with the drama. You lace up your chucks, I'm stepping out in my Briannas. Alien route driver, I burn out of control like Australian wildfires. Rap mind madness aside, I'm inspired. Craft rhymes not of this world, that trend's dire. We were wearing masks before the year of hindsight. Frivolous time spite, you did it for the limelight. I disengaged to keep my independent mind right. Now they often ask me if I've been keeping my rhymes tight. Earthican, you should order tourniquets. Worry like 2 nuclear nations in border skirmishes. So be careful who you war with, or end up carrying feasting on locusts and murder hornets. What was I thinking? Why didn't I take advantage? I should have dropped a beacon. How did I not flip every loss and count up each win? 2020 was soil I should have planted seeds in. We could have thrown love if we were shown. Probably not been in such a rush if we had known. Only after suffering much will we have grown. Proactive only after disaster, too relaxing to show. Rest in power, T'Challa, and all of those who were lost, every son and daughter. Hard not to think of the loss of life. People lost in fight with only drones left over and hawkish rights. Cough in spite, try lifting his shoulder pain. Throw Beirut explosion flame, more deadly than COVID strain. What a ride, who but me can hold the reins? But they won't mention unified as you already know the game. Open range, broken with nothing but hope and change. Shout out to those who done overcame. So deranged, it was all conspiracy, with everyone hatching a theory from the gods to villainy. But reality checks brutally, and if you didn't grow, then you whiffed at the opportunity. Pain and confusion weathered here, it's still a better year than most human beings will ever clear. What was I thinking? Why didn't I take advantage? I should have dropped a beacon. How did I not flip every loss and count up each win? 2020 was soil I should have planted seeds in. We could have thrown love if we were shown. Probably not been in such a rush if we had known. Only after suffering much will we have grown. Proactive only after disaster, too relaxing to show. Ghostling and reminiscing, institutionalized. I was already socially distanced. Banished to holy prison, panicked with humanity, standing wholly inflicted. You try to amass the loot plunder, then add in 5 letters, a dash, and 2 numbers. First maligned, then it was sound science. Now it's hard not to see things through the lens of decline bias. Quarantine from your warring teams, as governments of the planet took advantage, taking more indeed. Torrent seas, a morbid scene. Out of mind while the virus you denied attacked your horrid spleen. I thought the division would take us all. We were asleep, that was the wake-up call. Now it's peace to the ones who didn't make it through. From Alex Trebek to Grandmaster Metal Face Doom. In hindsight, yeah, what was I thinking? Why didn't I take advantage? I should have dropped a beacon. How did I not flip every loss and count up each win? 2020 was soil I should have planted seeds in. We could have thrown love if we were shown. Probably not been in such a rush if we had known. Only after suffering much will we have grown. Proactive only after disaster, too relaxing to show.
We do what we want to do. We take what we want to take. The same way when your United States government wanted Iraqi oil fields, they just took them. We do that. We take gold, and you speak so badly of us. When we skirt the rules like your Congress does to make the rules work for them, we do that. You call us thugs. Thugs. You act like you don't know that thug is a new code word for
Niggas.
That's why I said it, because you're afraid to.
Trying to avoid these shady separatists, hypocrite progressives and 90s and 80s references, fearmonger conservatives pushing their fear of estrogen, state operatives lurking, ensuring we're not a threat to them. Republicans love it, you'll find their silence deafening, push the corporate socialism right behind the elephant. To the limousine liberal, I'm nigger black, the token push their narrative, victimhood of skinny class. The atheist community bent over for the Democrats, forfeited more, now you can't get it back. Or you bought up the false duopoly, clutch and flex. Vote ashamed to wonder why I trust you less. Roll with failure on the hunt to snuff success. No, I don't have to be on the right to say fuck the left. Never house slave, keep your selective outrage, your lip service about change, and your decrepit mouse maze. Remaining true to rap, even if I'm the last to do it, while these raps and mics gravitate towards trap music. half do this and get smacked stupid. When I smash people running different directions like a mass shooting. They expected me not to reach through music. Every week they throw out new puzzles for us to be confused with. Just another from where the streets are ruthless. Now I teach for all my ancestors who had to sneak to do it. There's bluffing and resolve. There's a reason they don't want you to call, but we will if we have to. The struggle to evolve, but humanity suffering and all the way through the vacuum. Madden wanna swap fly, drop rhymes on anybody not in your top 5. Yeah, where am I amongst the greatest to spit? No quintet, then I'd better be next on the list. Cult of intelligence, Snowden relevant data they collect and hope to leverage the bulk of. They selling it, failure of the leadership, veiled from the beat of it. Nailed to ever lowercase t's for even speaking this. Paralyzed as they wanna sever ties, while I'm left to sterilize this right-left paradigm, and therein lies the main issue. We proud dumb, our geniuses are ashamed of sharing the same brain tissue. North's on the floor with the slain, till I see Black Lives Matter go to war with the gang lords. It's the same score, more to name, save for those who understand who's running game, who came forth. Change course, get tossed in the ether. No more off-duty, lost puny gods to deceive us. It's protocol, no one lost, no one hawking their Jesus. No Qurans, no Imams, no Bhagavad Gitas, nah. There's bluffing and resolve. There's a reason they don't want you to call, but we will if we have to. The struggle to evolve, but humanity suffering and all the way through the vacuum. Madden wanna swap fly, drop rhymes on anybody not in your top 5. Yeah, where am I amongst the greatest to spit? No quintet, then I'd better be next on the list at 6.
I told you were wasting your time. A colored captain.
I don't know him. And to be honest, I don't much care what happens 100 years from now. It's today that matters.
Make me choose between theirs and yours, of them and you. Neither would be spared in war. System, what I pursue is wisdom. With every view saying if you ain't with it, you're against them. Mention it, cancellation imminent. They want you to join the network side without a benefit. They don't know how to care though, as their respect is militant. But they like whack people flow, so I don't really give a shit. Nah, I ain't just no threat, I'm a true independent. You can't tell who I'm a bust on next. So to all political gangbangers, I'm from fuck your hood. Don't even hit me up, it's fuck your set. There's bluffing and resolve. There's a reason they don't want you to call, but we will if we have to. The struggle to evolve, but humanity suffering and all the way through the vacuum. Madden wanna swap fly, drop rhymes on anybody not in your top 5. Yeah, where am I amongst the greatest to spit? No quintet, then I'd better be next on the list at 6.
Extropy and entropy. Prelude to issue 0.
Enter the apocryphal musings of a different tune, somewhere in the omniverse, deep within the infinitude. The great debate, unification the topic, Gray of the extropians, Malik the entropic. Two civilizations who differ greatly, too similar ambition, too different on issues stately. Fundamentally disagree with hopes to blend, stances on it divided but still remain the closest friends. A kinship grown back centuries with the strength of the pack never wavering in intensity. I am symmetry, he's reward and penalty. The last extropian together with Lord Entropy. The realm traversed in eldritch searching, shells within purpose, hellish concepts of self-emergence. One scientist and scholar as the other walks the fine line between emperor and father. Truly profound is their duty-bound gift of musings drown. We are their doppelgangers in sound. E&E, blowing through your deities, known to use quintessence fuel technologies to flee the scene.
Question, are you the author or the authored? This story is the answer to a question very few offered. This is a saga, one that is potentially full of drama, that redefines reality in a way that produces trauma. And as it continues, everything you thought you knew about the nature of reality will suddenly become unglued. Scientific fiction mixed and blended with an action view, put together in a way that very few indie comics do. We are majestic. It's a conflict born of a dichotomy, as one wielding a weapon that's capable of atrocities, the other wielding a tool of defense that challenge ferocities, calculating equations at a staggering velocity. They're two bands, two roles combining the fate not foretold. They're law spanning the multiverse, person the cosmic threshold. Alternate realities, universes are casualties, while Eldritch pushes closer to omniversal calamity. The great collapse, and yes, perhaps they find a way to stop it. Change the optic, failure's not an option, yo, it's catastrophic. Most of life is so myopic, living alive, so unaware. If they knew battles waged on their behalf, they might just die from fear. Lovecrafty and horror, whole reality's martyred. A threat that encompasses every tale of gods and monsters. By these who fight with honor, so there's no reason to ponder. While fate has chosen them to be galactic first responders. A war fought on every plane of existence, with warriors that only know the path of greater resistance. But meanwhile, in their home universe, conditions only getting worse. They have to make it back before it all disperse.
Question, what is the nature of existence? Razor in the distance on different ways you can spin this. This is endless, and omni evolves. This is our premise. Explored through a story of glory, loss, and friendship. Tested over many trials, plenty smiles, sacrifice and ambition of many styles. With structure, a glorious tale emerges. We produce these books with the music that take you furthest. Gray of Extropia. Yeah. Grand Unified Lord for Legion. Prelude, Majestic Comics. We are Majestic. Question,
are you the author or the authored?
An omni evolves. What is the nature of existence?
Yeah, the people suddenly become unglued. This is a saga. Are you the author or the authored?
This is endless. What is the nature of existence? Star surface exterior, lost in the infinite cosmos, consistent with models, distant from hydrogen-rich material energy that I wanna borrow. Classified cataclysmic, battle crushed, another scientific, quite implicit, bright and vivid, fire spitting, super luminous event, taking off in the distance. Quick, fast, and in a hurry, I'm ejecting a thick mass in a flurry, a classical leap in a fusion and gravity, massive magnitude and flashes occurring. Temperature rising, unnerving, with heavy elements making up my lunch. Pressure increased due to accreted helium. Unique as I'ma only do this once. Dying desire in spite of the ire, so he's setting light to the pyre. A mind even higher can shine even brighter to finally inspire the tiniest squire. Used to see meaning as dire, the glow is to open your eyes, and even less time to admire the scene in the sky. What kind of phoenix am I? Gleaning aside, find me within a binary system where I'm keen to reside. Then making off with ingredients, much like a thief in the night. Prophet of space, rocket with haste. Red giant white dwarf locked in embrace. Shocking and grace, I'll make sure your telescope is locked into place. Lengthy duration would not be the case. Anything within its range socked in its face. Impossibly moving at escape velocity. Out of these speeds, you are not giving chase. Free to surmise, teaching comprised overbeat within rhyme. Only beacons describe as the light from it reaches. As I am the nova you seek to describe. Spoilers direct from the teasers, bias infecting your thesis. This ain't for secular reasons, no, I already rejected your Jesus. Me, never scared to critique it. Many, they call it facetious. Traits of a scheme you in league would take the intelligent rodent its weakness. All we asking is for the masses that are stagnant to act on their own. Swear they hate kingdoms, but every 8 years put another village idiot back on the throne. Glad we alone. You see a trap star, I see a clone. This is what a primitive ape would do without nature. Just sit back and enjoy the show. The human will tempt you. Zeus is Mohammed's and Vishnu's. Every deity to keep you safe from the reality bomb that could hit soon. For me, not an issue. Ontologically, I'll rip through all the dimensional barriers keeping Lovecrafting and horrors from getting loose. Of course I'll slay. Roam the manifold with a sword all day. Know to break physical laws, often impair every 8th bar with a 4th wall break stuck. Nor y'all way. Care from the 4th type, no, not gray. As he's equipped with the foresight and the torchlight to illuminate a dark like state. Move aside. In the age we flowing, you know us as unified. Muses, they get lost in the spaces we utilize. Send your raging armies to faces, it's suicide. I'll be goddamn crazy to fall in such foolish pride. Notice how they bait us, we saw it straight through the lies. No, this ain't our planet, this isn't our bluest sky. Alien creatives, foreign to human eyes, and you're not gon' change us. So shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap. I'ma tell them shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap. You tell them shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap. We tell them shut your trap, shut your trap. Waist deep in obscene lakes while you fake sleep. GU, this is free space. Leave thanks with the break beat. To abdicate is a weak move from a king's throne to the crate seat. They move where defeat loom. We cruise through the great sea. Here lies but an age tomb. War boys with a half-life while the sheer size of the state blooms. Hell nah, no thanks, chase me. Plot course with a sport drive on a starship blowing snake leaf. Only rhyme lords will embrace me. You'll care what the fakes think. Off to speak to cause a great leap, while the thought police to call a hate speech. You wanna scoff at me, the better place I seek? Okay. Great. All I see is just bait. I'd rather seize the jump gate and flee at once while I leave towards the substrate. They asked me where that I stood. Must have deemed it not good. Struck to be around what the people found just to see if I could. It's tougher even now. Wait, I don't wanna feast from another plate. I would rather piece to the piece out of reach of the bleak. Never speak of the utter fate. Flow for the dreams that are unattained. Those to the meek, to the unafraid. You gon' sneak around sheep and not speak, knowing everybody sleep and don't wanna wake. What a waste. Move aside. In the age we flowing, you know us as unified. Muses, they get lost in the spaces we utilize. Send your raging armies to faces, it's suicide. I'll be goddamn crazy to fall in such foolish pride. Notice how they bait us, we saw it straight through the lies. No, this ain't our planet, this isn't our bluest sky. Alien creatives, foreign to human eyes, and you're not gon' change us. So shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap. I'ma tell them shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap. You tell them shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap. We tell them shut your trap, shut your trap. Shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap. I'ma tell them shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap. You tell them shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap, shut your trap. We tell them shut your trap, shut your trap. Us are spacebound. We fell from grace and taught ourselves how to fly on the way down. You can scream it with us. Unapologetically, GU, no forgiveness. For what it costs, we don't want it. We address our ignorance as stupid people flaunt it. We invest in poetry while you betray the honest. Flee the cage so you can peep the sonnet. Motion of the celestials, trying to prove an omniverse just to disown the spectacle. There's less to know when you bedfellows with ignorance. We spit for the beyonders who listen in. This is pretend like every other work of fiction, where skill level of escape is a measure of conviction. Fishing within the ocean of the infinite, wishing I didn't have to admit to such a sentiment. Marvel the cargo we got through the embargo. Whittle deliver from Pyro, we connect in Fargo. Precision configured with large scope, mimics the dart throw, taking the first position in the yard show. Sorted defeat, recorded the beat, it's sword in the sheath. Orphan indeed, at war with the machine, often absorbing the heat that courses through the beam. All of us are spacebound. We fell from grace and taught ourselves how to fly on the way down. You can scream it with us. Unapologetically, GU, no forgiveness. For what it costs, we don't want it. We address our ignorance as stupid people flaunt it. We invest in poetry while you betray the honest. Yeah. Flee the cage so you can peep the sonnet. Yo. Gorilla, gross tactics, loaded up, dealing out death to both factions. You know what's up, they cook the dough from Coke Classic. You ain't worth the dirt off they shoe or roach ashes. Manila vanilla, blow massive. Cigarillos packed with the Chiba and thrown hashing. You know it's great, he done escaped each known rapture. A violator of spatial entropy grown backwards. Sick, it's gore you should implore. I say stick with the misfits, they'll force you to endure. Before I fit in a sword to the core, I say fuck assimilation, declare war with the Borg. Dismissed like we all the same, but they can never restrain this free state dialogue exchange. Over here, you speak to and know your peers, so revered, we created an intellectual cheers. All of us are spacebound, we fell from grace and taught ourselves how to fly on the way down. You can scream it with us, unapologetically GU, no forgiveness. For what it costs, we don't want it. We address our ignorance as stupid people flaunt it. We invest in poetry while you betray the honest. Flee the cage so you can peep the sonnet. Shoot into space at a ludicrous pace. Music innate, taking a leave and moving away. Who's to debate in a vacuum isolated? Self, the only true exercise in patience. Mind sedated for your protection. Scores of weapons, strategizing, less consuming, more investment. Fewer enemies, vibes of lucidity. Forwarded 5 times and slide through the city scheme. Big spaces switch places, lyrics make way for the vividest sensations. I figured if given the distance of 6 paces, my schemes will stay laden, configured to fix faces. They'll get these lames fame and helicopters, 7 offers, while the intelligent they never foster. Better monsters, heaven bound to set atop a post-apocalyptic water world as I'm Kevin Costner. All of us are spacebound, we fell from grace and taught ourselves how to fly on the way down. You can scream it with us, unapologetically GU, no forgiveness. For what it costs, we don't want it. We address our ignorance as stupid people flaunt it. We invest in poetry while you betray the honest. Flee the cage so you can peep the sonnet. All of us are spacebound, we fell from grace and taught ourselves how to fly on the way down. You can scream it with us, unapologetically GU, no forgiveness. For what it costs, we don't want it. We address our ignorance as stupid people flaunt it. We invest in poetry while you betray the honest. Flee the cage so you can peep the sonnet. All of us are spacebound, we fell from grace and taught ourselves how to fly on the way down. You can scream it with us, unapologetically GU, no forgiveness. For what it costs, we don't want it. We address our ignorance as stupid people flaunt it. We invest in poetry while you betray the honest. Flee the cage so you can peep the sonnet.
Most people are just like so quick to want to latch onto some sort of identity, some sort of group identity where they can say, who's going to do the thinking for me? Who's going to make this decision for me? Who's going to tell me what's right or wrong? But most people do not have the capacity and do not want to take on the responsibility to make those decisions in the first place.
Yo. Speech named flagrant. I'm more concerned with unelected deep state agents. Weed stay blazing. Gone as we, law the people who speak honestly. Now with softened speech you'll be arrested by the thought police. In style, the outrage is frivolous. Through the lens of now they call my criticisms bigoted. Dormant and spurned, unending are the war terms. While I'm more concerned, our memories are short-termed. We fall for words, they watch behaviors. All they have to do is change the face and they can play us. Turn us on our neighbors. Neutral zones drawn along the saviors. Brutal the pawns on for the invasion. Any deviation of the status quo, right, left, life, death, will label you a radical. They'll seek to neutralize the threat you pose. Aim at you the press like the rest of the intellectuals. And you think they want open minds? They just here to make sure that you toe the line. Crazy is the whole design. Maybe if you know the signs, we can make its growth decline. The programming of better drones, just one of many in a set of clones. A line where they expect a toe, or any independent mind who thinks for self is threat to code. They'll want you to be a part of their forces, but you might have a different opinion on guns and worship. You might not toe the line on abortion, or think tax is extortion, or even think of the facts as important. Who makes the rules to this group or club? Do they declare for me my enemies and who to love? Proof is scrub, that isn't narrative, that lucid drug. Will they stay consistent when below and true above? Ruminations too salacious, true and basic. The safest are the dronings of the Unimatrix. Dismiss this planet's god as candle law. All to see it returned is the cancel mob. The highest treason. If you don't subscribe to an identity allegiance, they'll decry your thesis. While they sit with the sin of hypocrites, sniffing into it. The recidivism is tenuous, but the stench of it stays stuck on us. From the state corrupt to the funnies and race hustlers, I can't fuck with them. Members like they carrying card. They love power when it's their team in charge. Lead us to war or peaceful divorce. You're either in breach of the fort or thief in the courts. This ain't the choir and you preaching the Lord. Too jaded ire makes the people ignore it. Yup. And you think they want open minds? They just here to make sure that you toe the line. Crazy is the whole design. Maybe if you know the signs, we can make its growth decline. The programming of better drones, just one of many in a set of clones. A line where they expect to toe, where any independent mind who thinks for self is spread to code. You think they want open minds? They just here to make sure that you toe the line. Crazy is the whole design. Maybe if you know the signs, we can make its growth decline. The programming of better drones, just one of many in a set of clones. A line where they expect to toe, where any independent mind who thinks for self is spread to code. Yeah. Type 4. Yeah. Little gray men say his flow awesome. Try to keep up if you wanna get lost. The fundamental forces are giving me a choice to comply or not. I got fifth world problems. Out of here with the haze. 1,000 years here without a peer in the space. Got him in a veer without a fear in the face. Well, all I have is ears and a weird sense of taste. Jupiter, gas, prison, planet. You wanna get stabbed? Lethal information in every sequel. I mean every goat, but I'm one of its calves. Listen up, it's a bluff, fit it tough, sick enough, rigid luck, vivid lust, been amuck, in a bus, 10 of us, been a bus. Might as well hit them, they play at them, might as well split them. They can't fathom, mine won't let them. They spray weapon, I'ma throw venom. Minutes before, enemies pour in through the suffering misery doors. Abrupt invisibly course, stuck with a cynic's remorse. And thus, war, knowing the injuries forge. Memories tend to be gore, members are sent to be warned. Only one tall for the simile, yep. Living in the city on the type forever on the west side of town where I'm liking the weather. Type 4 rhyme lord, high sword that'll take 2 timelines and then tie them together. Blue light beam, violent stellar, new life stream, wider the better. Moon side of the few with the crew riding, you live with the fools in the crevice.
It's insane.
Sometimes the only sane response to an insane world is insanity.
Earthling, bursting with a purpose, interpreted it occur with a hurting. Somebody better get him a new life and a blue light for the night, kinda blew it with this earthing. Under the floor, the ship we stored it aboard, distorted a bit. This craft teleported your dimension to another realm with immortals. Sit in the backpack, at the back is a map that I packed half of it after the fact that I lost the other half, traveling back from the past to pity, trying to get back to the type 4. Hoping the feeling to get this open ability, hit a moment humility, had to show it a pillar to pick apart of the pack of the potent villainy, sticking it far in the back. I'm hoping you're feeling me.
Somebody asked what happened. I'll tell you. I've seen us evolve and moving past this. We're more inclined to burn it all or smoke the ashes. Very little communication, just dopey clashes. 1 clumsy step falling forward, 3 going backwards. Faster facts that'll chase you back where the money runs. From secular to pastor, I'll be the axe that you're running from. Criticisms that never seem to face the state, created in the face of deteriorating race relations. Foolish vagrants seeking a safer space, trying to keep my tunes from the playlist aboard the space station. Dismantled, .9 canceled, still waving the flag of the future despite trampled. Music is worse, people respect the lame sound. Backpedaled, reverse, stuck retreading the same ground. Stiff back of the hearse, caught up seeking the fame crown. Plain down, it's clown world. Avoid the rabbit hole or get found hurled from even higher heights than where clouds whirl. People with less love and more hate, living out the end game, thinking we'd be at point 8. Planetary, we ain't even national. State budgets leveraging cities to be irrational. Fact-based solutions never make it to tactical. Just more Jim Crips and Republicans in the Capitol. And I ain't even scraped the reality yet. 1 second it's Armageddon, next it's time to relax. It took a 3rd world war zone for me to respect. I took a 2nd world cab ride for each to reflect. Absurd trying to curtail greed. We splurge complaining that we're oppressed, smoking first world weed, stressed. Empathy dead, no giving sympathy. While anyone who thinks any different is with the enemy. Destroyer of heavens, we don't deserve an undo. Laid amongst the wreckage, I'm snatching that .7 from you. They took me out of my age to find a quaint hairless age still divided by race. And with these long lists of grievances excited by rage, success and failures decided by fate, I think I'm outside of my cage. How can I solve for next lesson if I'm falling down the corridors, all with the stress freshman? terror, the peak of knowledge, a breach of solace. The climb was never meant to be parabolic. Error promise, scared to contribute, but there to comment. Deceivers thinking they're fair and honest. Wasting our time as the hour burns, the dismal downward turn, complete with the shifting and power terms. From king of the jungle down to the alley worms. Point six is what's left, thinking it's how we learn.
Evolution by natural selection does not tell us the deeper question that we're asking, which is why. What's this deeper reality and what's it up to and why? All it tells us is that whatever reality is, it's not what you see. What you see is just an adaptive fiction.
So just to linger on this fascinating, bold question that shakes you out of your dream state, does this fiction still help you in building intuitions as literary fiction does about reality?
Late in the calm, making up songs, breaking your bonds. One of the depraved with the vagrant cons. Run up on the lake of the graves when it dawns. Then I awake in a pod. Journey underway till it's odds with the face of the gods. And the stake in the cause. Looking for mistakes and the flaws, I crave for the stars. But they no longer exist. No more of the new to be had, I stayed on the barge. Right near the warmth of the disc. Taking in the view of the black, I came from the lost yet. And still I'm awestruck. Sitting on the edge of the end with the last bit of cosmos until it's all dust. Waiting on the next to begin to mention it. So bend till the brain breaks. Maybe even the pen from the save state. Enter the simulation, I'm a mainstay. Well, just trying to see you ascend to the same place. So blend till we change fates. You don't want it to end, but you can't stay. So leave us with the kin that we gain late. And the bow and arrow of then that we aim straight. It's all recursive, broad immersive, alls we purchase. All to circumvent the laws we work with on a dark ship. Many of us long from purpose. Credited to raw emergence. Sever it from costly churches. As a veteran of lofty searches that can sell them on the fogs we lurking as impediment to godly worship.
Well, it's interesting that you say introspect to the bottom. Because, again, this is in the same spirit of what I said before, which is it depends on what answer you give to what's beyond space-time, what answer we would give to your question, right?
Our position, cost admission, all existence. Raw commitment with evolved conviction as we all live as citizens of starless fiction. Charred through ages, for all new life here, a small few pages. Long view night air and all new matrix. And hues of light where it's all too basic. Nested, every path you're on, you've already selected. With you lasting long in the depths of the essence, you can crash these songs on celestial efforts. In the vast of it all, we created the nexus, sans imperfections, we readily etched it. Canvas reflected, we aggressively tested. Novels ingested, all for the irrelevance respite. Built up on a ship in a bottle, only to build it on a ship in a bottle. Loaded for living on the blip in the hollow, with more experience than any can follow. Aboard a city of committee and power. Many want ascending in ours, but we are known to take infinity showers. The MOs make the lineage ours, though we are coded from a synergy prowess. The feet alone will make our enemies cower. Set in its track and the rest is freeform, where we simulate sex in the flesh and the threats of excess and where death is a respawn. When you plug in the disc, the abyss under risk of the stresses and pressures to keep going, you just see all the seconds as ocean with waves of a days to get wrecked in the sea storm. Probe ley lines. Outside of this, there is no space-time. Dousing about mountain amount, countless accounts vouch for devout bold face lies. Best neural headsets, whole play lives. Call for the exit and whole stakes die. The simulacra, image opera, living off of the old great minds.
Unfortunately, you still don't know if you went all the way down. It's possible that this kind of whatever consciousness is, it is somehow digging at a deeper truth of reality, but you still don't know when you get to the bottom. You know, a lot of people, they'll take psychedelic drugs and they'll say, well, that takes my mind to certain places where it feels like that is revealing some deeper truth of reality. Still, it could be interfaces on top of interfaces. That's, you really don't know. I mean, it's Gato's incompleteness is that you really don't know.
My own view on it, for what it's worth, because I don't know the right answer, but my own view on it right now is that it's never ending. I think that if this is true and if consciousness is somehow important or fundamental in the universe, this may be an important fundamental fact about consciousness itself, that it's a never-ending exploration that's going on in some sense.
Visions of images of the hate I taught. Friendships forfeited over the way I thought. Distance from the intimate instances of the pain I caused. Reject forgiveness from the slain I fought. I was the worst brother, an even worse boyfriend, the type to hurt others, as he the cursed orphan. How can I sleep in peace and dream of a better day, with history of street violence upon my resume? The hardest part is living with the choices, cause I was contributor to the poisons. I would take a clear and then limit it with distortions. I would take my pain and then give it a sick importance. My path was too attached to dark kismet. My heart missed it, while keeping everyone I knew at arm's distance. I hope what you see now's a stark difference, but I'm accounting for my parts in this. Seeking harsh sentence, I'm guilty. No need for a plea or defense counsel, I'm guilty. I'm guilty. No need for debate or deliberation, I'm guilty. Yeah. Ha. Worthless and aloof. Violence was a language I was versed in since abuse. I remember nothing except the numbness from the cries. My mother gave me the name of a fuck that she despised. I was full rejected, wearing the pain as camouflage. As every relationship I would learn to sabotage. I come from the anguish of the abandoned and forgot to God on whoever was on the block. This continued in the army. I was depression and despair, volunteering my services for death and didn't care. I went straight from juvie, cause it was that I served the term out. Facing down a weapons charge, outlook looking burnt out. This wasn't a movie, this was my family's karmic debt. The lifelong affliction of a disgraceful army vet. Heart beset with large regret, can hardly guess. I don't know what else I'll be charged with, but I'm guilty. No need for a plea or defense counsel, I'm guilty. I'm guilty. No need for debate or deliberation, I'm guilty. An adolescent-minded hoodlum. I refused people my help, said no when I knew I could've. I didn't know then, but aggression was my default. Any energy less than respect, then I would tee off. I hate to admit, but I've told secrets, and I've cut good people off for no reason. A whole heathen who broke every law below treason, who cursed every god in known season. What else has gotta stick? I'm self-obsessed, absorbed, and wreck a lot of shit. I've been just as selfish as any spoiled only child. Been a greedy and scheming Ferengi on the prowl. To the average Christian, I'm a filthy sinner. To the Muslimite, the kafir must meet Allah front and center. No nirvanas or canned heavens, but if they did ever exist, I own every transgression is guilty. No need for a plea or defense counsel, I'm guilty. I'm guilty. No need for debate or deliberation, I'm guilty. 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 Yeah, I know it took a while, but we back on course. Yeah, grand unified theory, forever. Ha. Related to the stars like their sibling. You know you can't be jealous, but it's tempting. The theist mourns. Our transgalactic future stuns you as you see its form. Where photoreceptors are not needed to see us dawn on the horizon. There's no way there can remain gods. We stack up the quantum bricks that make up domain walls. Strange laws within the omni we abide by. The colors of infinity are limelight. Too bright for human eyesight. You chancing blindness. Staring across the scale trying to understand the science. With Aaron talks of hell. Lower baryonics, we stay in their fables. We often get mistaken for angels. Dominion is age-old, bleed space. We live in the bulk, with every unique multiverse equally true and false. With barriers at the source, we breaking straight through the walls. We know what can't be done and we'll equally do it all. Alpha supreme, towering beings with power extreme. It's like, imagine the races who can do anything, including imagining races who can do anything better than type U beings.
Housing obscene, flowering seed, amalgam of dreams. It's like these are the creatures well at the end of time. Features deepened with secrets seated among the inner mind. Ancient while your universe was infant. Where you were going you could see our imprint. And even though it seems to you and your people our means are endless, it would behoove you to seek a friendship. Gene edit, we write molecular cursive. These kids is Franklin Richards, restructuring multiverses. Trying to make some sense of with Omni the only purchase. But if I'ma be on the surface, I'm rhyming below the dirt with sick honesty, flow, and purpose. We're from where timelines merge. You search for us well beyond the central finite curve. It's worth it. Our task is level up. We walk a path that you can never rush. We travel from Astral Dawn to stellar dusk. We've mastered better forms. We'll map the death of stars ahead of us with deeper intimacy and better lust. These raps are Escher poems. Alpha supreme, towering beings with power extreme. It's like, imagine the races who can do anything, including imagining races who can do anything better than type U beings. Housing obscene, flowering seed, amalgam of dreams. It's like, these are the creatures well at the end of time. Features deepened with secrets seated among the inner mind. City on the type of forever. Last of the rhyme lords. Tour of the orphan night. Iron Star era.